Lucas had never believed in ghosts or the supernatural. To him, scary stories were nothing more than fabrications, twisted myths meant to entertain the weak-minded. But now, sitting upright in bed, drenched in sweat, his breath shallow and uneven, he knew the truth. The Shadow Man was real. It began with small things, waking up at exactly 3 a.m. every night, a creeping sense of unease gnawing at his chest. His room felt wrong, as if something had shifted while he slept. The air was heavier, charged with an invisible weight pressing down on him. At first, he blamed stress, insomnia, paranoia. But then, he started seeing it. A figure, darker than the shadows around it, lurking in the corner of his room. It never moved. It never made a sound. But it was watching. The first time, he dismissed it as a trick of the eyes. The second time, he turned on his bedside lamp, and it was gone. The third time, he tried to convince himself it wasn't real. But by the fourth night, he could feel it breathing. And then, it moved. Lucas lay frozen, his body rigid with an unnatural paralysis. He could see it now, closer, towering beside his bed, its presence an abyss that swallowed all warmth from the room. The figure had no face, no features, yet he knew it was looking at him. A cold whisper slid into his ears, not a voice, but something deeper. It didn't speak in words, but in raw dread, in a crushing sense of inevitability. His mind filled with images, himself, alone in a void, screaming, clawing at nothingness. Not yet, but soon. Darkness. Lucas jolted awake, gasping. His heart pounded against his ribs like a trapped animal. He scrambled to turn on the lamp, his fingers trembling violently. The clock read 3:33 a.m. His sheets were drenched. His body ached as if he had been stretched and held down. His throat was raw, as if he had been screaming in his sleep. He turned to the corner. Empty. But something had changed. The room felt different, like it no longer belonged to him. For the next 3 nights, Lucas refused to sleep. He covered his mirrors, moved his bed away from the walls, left the lights on. But exhaustion crept in. His eyelids grew heavy. His mind faltered. And then, the lamp flickered. A low hum of static filled the silence. His vision blurred, his skin prickled with cold. Then, from the darkness behind him, a breath. Slow. Deep. Close. Lucas turned his head. A black hand reached toward his face. Then, nothing. He woke up screaming, his hands clutching his chest, his breath coming in ragged gasps. But something was different. His room smelled wrong. Like damp earth and decay. And then he noticed his closet door. It was open. He hadn't opened it. A single black footprint was smeared across the floor. The Shadow Man didn't need the dark to find him. And deep down, Lucas knew. He was already inside.